Good morning from the Arizona desert. My name is Tom, and I'm out here in Phoenix, Arizona, and this is the daily DoorDash journey through the desert. Yesterday we talked about taking a look at yourself. We talked about looking in the mirror, asking those tough questions. And today I want to elaborate on that just slightly and say, in order for things to change, you must change. And that change starts by asking the questions and finding out, is there something that I can do differently? Is there something that I'm doing that's creating a certain result? And that's the tough question. They say insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. Or another phrase that says, if you think you can do something, you can. If you think you can't, you can't. Either way, you're right. And what we're trying to do is we're trying to address the things that are blocking us, the roadblocks that are stopping us from getting from point A to Z, or from A to B, or A to G, or G to N. Are you impressed? I know my alphabet. I'm still a little tired, but I'm waking up. I'm waking up to the reality that you have to fall in love with learning. Truth be told, I woke up to that a long time ago. I love to learn. I love to ask questions. And the better that you are at asking Google, AI, your best friend, a professional, for ideas that you take in and you burn in the fire, and you get a second opinion and you burn that in the fire, and if the results are the same, then there's a higher probability that it just might be true. And it's that type of information that I like to gather in order to make informed decisions. I don't like to do things on hearsay. I'll be in a conversation and I'll be like, that's a great question. I don't know the answer to it affirmatively. I don't know what the law is. I'll ask a lawyer. I don't know what the tax laws are. I'll ask an accountant. Versus somebody saying, I think that you can do this and I think you can do that. And you hear us all the time as people who have a platform who are talking, saying, this isn't legal advice, or this is not tax advice. And that's because they don't want to get in trouble. They don't want somebody to come back and sue them because so-and-so said to do something and I did and it failed, and then all of a sudden we're liable for giving that advice. I don't know if that would stand up in a court of law or not, just as a for instance. That would be a great question, because as we start to embark on this journey, I will be talking to my lawyer. I will be saying, what can I do and what can't I do? Or do I need to have a disclaimer at the beginning of my videos or at the end? Or do I just need to avoid those type of questions altogether? And they will give us law. The state of Massachusetts against, company ABC found that this, that, and it went all the way to the Supreme Court, and here's the final decision. Oh, okay, I cannot. You understand? You understand that logic? It's like there's things that have happened in the world that we've said, this is how it is, and we've got it written down, or we've legislated it into law, and now it's there for us to follow. So, yeah, but if you take that whole process that I was explaining at the beginning of asking questions, burning it in the fire, finding out what the truth is, and then using that information to make decisions, you'll find that you go through life unscathed. It's kind of like putting on sunblock when you're out in the middle of the desert versus, somebody told you you don't need sunblock. I I want so many people to succeed. I cannot control that. I understand that. But sometimes you just look around and you see so much pain. Sometimes you see people struggling. Sometimes you see people doing 10 steps when they only need to do 2 steps. And you just want to help them. But also, from a parental standpoint, from a coaching standpoint, you have to let people get their bumps and bruises and learn. For instance, it would be very easy for somebody to give me all the answers of everything that I need to do or don't need to do, that I might be putting on too much emphasis on everything that I'm doing, and you may fall flat on your face. And that's fine. Because, see, I'm not worried about that. Now, that may be a friend giving somebody else advice because they fell flat on their face and they don't want us to go through that pain. And that's what we do as parents. That's what we do as coaches. It's like we want to help you cut to the chase without having to go through those same exact steps. But sometimes it's those steps that actually teach us what we need for the future. Sometimes you need those pain points, those, ooh, that was hot, don't touch that in the future. Ooh, that hurt. Or that stung, that was an emotional moment. I did not like that. Then don't do it again. Husbands are really good at that. And their wives are the ones that usually are the ones saying, you messed up. And the guys learn. If they want to not be in the doghouse, then they need to listen to their coach. Their coach may warn them, but they will be like, I told you not to do that, but you're going to do it anyway because you're a guy. Stereotypical, fun, jovial. Don't worry, I'm not a male chauvinist or any of that type of stuff. It's just a moment. It's just something to reflect on, because I know that I've failed numerous times. Wow. Learning can be fun. This whole process that I'm doing right here inside of the car is fun for me. I'm a technical guy. Gadget here, gadget here, gadget there, gadget over here, got something here, gonna put something over here, gonna have something back there. It's like getting it all to mesh up and power and everything else, and a dash cam, and it's just like, wow. I was talking to my daughter, and my oldest daughter, and she's just like, that's a lot going on while you're driving. And I'm going to be like, yeah, but I'm going to blame 2 people. I'm going to blame Aaron, and I'm going to blame John. No, a third person too. I'm going to throw OG in there too. Because they're out there doing it. They're out there driving and talking. Multiple things, hands going here, streams, turning cameras around, getting orders, jobs coming in, getting out, going and picking up jobs. The only thing that I don't have a moderator. That may be the lesson. So I don't even know some of the things behind the scenes, but we will fight through it. So again, in order to change, you must change. I'm changing throughout this whole entire process. I was nowhere in this arena before. All of a sudden, here I am. And as a result, things are going to change. And as a result of that change, that talent, that skill will help to meet somebody else's need. That's the whole purpose of a dream, is to fulfill somebody else's need. That's quite the concept. That the dream giver knew in advance that somebody would have a need and therefore planted the seed in you at birth to be fulfilled. If you don't believe that, then ask any young kid with their parents by their side, what do you want to be when you grow up? And they will put the biggest smile on their face and tell you, I want to be a fireman, I want to be the president, I want to be a professional football player. I want to find the cure for cancer. I want to be around flowers. I want to make people laugh. Where did they get that from? Some may say it was from their environment or a pain point that they experienced inside of their life and they came up with something by association. Maybe. You can either choose that it was a higher entity, it was a god, it was something along those lines, or it was Freudian. Either way, it's the path that we're all on, and ultimately there's an end to that little mini dream, only to turn that little mini dream into other dreams down the road. All right, it's getting late. I need to go start my dash, and as a result of that, I'm going to let you go, and we shall talk to you tonight, and we will be cashing out for Saturday and Sunday. Have a great night.